Oh, full room of people today. Terry, how's the weekends?
It's going.
Uh-oh.
No,
Are we catching up on a Monday?
no, I'm actually off today. I'm off for the next few days, but I really wanted to do this.
Well, thank you for being here. Sorry, I did not know you were off.
Well, no, that's all good. I chose to be off after this was scheduled, so it's all good.
Hello, Ryla. Ryla, I meant to ask you this before. Who is or what is behind you? Like, what is this art behind you?
Just that. It's not to, I mean, yeah, it's just a piece that we found in Brighton, London. So we were there a few summers ago and we got a couple pieces. But I don't know, it just kind of spoke to me. Can't really explain it, but I swap it out every so often. So you might see
Great.
something new at some point.
It is
That's
funny,
great.
though, Riley. It looks like he's literally speaking to you, like most.
Whispering
I
in
have
your
a
ear.
skull in the other room. My tastes vary in art.
Well, I'm very glad. Well, I don't know if you can see my background, but I've got. We'll just say that there's lots of we'll just say tricks that are pulled in the MCM office. This wall used to be art, basically a bunch of like different art stuff that I love. And now, I don't know if you can tell, but there's like now Bigfoot there with a raccoon, and over there that would be a gigantic picture of my head. So yeah. So I promise there is art somewhere here. But right now, all my office is full of my team getting me back for pranks that I pulled on them previously. So there you go. All right, y'all. Well, it looks like we've got. I'm going to give us about 30 more seconds because we just had a couple of people just join, and then we'll get going. Today is actually, I'm very excited about today's training. This is combined with the training that we did last time on the search functionality in GPT, are actually my favorite trainings that we're probably going to do. My hope is we're going to supercharge everybody's efforts through these trainings, and that's frankly a bit out of the basics. We're taking some steps that a lot of people don't take as it relates to ChatGPT and the training in general. So very excited about that. As we get going, I'm going to see here. So we got a full house on this. So this is great. So let's go ahead and get going. So a couple quick things, right? So this is our third big team training that we're doing, right? The first one that we did was kind of the basics. The second one was really all about like the next high level stuff that we can do with GPT. Today, like I said, it's going to be focused on that next level, custom GPTs, and actually getting involved with GPT interplay and even some agent conversations. So I just want to check in here with who I have actually or that's in here. So who on this, and you can either do this actually on camera or you can just drop it in the chat for me. Who here has already created some custom GPTs on their own? So I see Nicole has. Thank you for raising your hand. Terry, I know that you have. Terry, you send me GPTs every day. All right, Liv has, great. So as of right now, I'm seeing we've got like 19 people on this call. So it looks like about 25% of us have created some type of custom GPTs in the past. So that's great. So it's good to hear. So that allows me to understand kind of like where we're at in the level that we need to go to for this conversation. So I'm going to actually pick on a couple people that actually have done this. And Terry, since you're on vacation, I'm going to come to you first. And by the way, you're well educated on this. So walk us through from your perspective what a custom GPT is.
It's a way to organize, well, anything, but in this context, my project work in a way that I have another brain. Like I have little individual brains on each of my projects that can help me create things, organize things, keep things in the same place that is accessible to others. So I'm not entirely sure of the difference between an individual GPT and a folder, but I know with a GPT, then I can share that access with other people.
That's exactly right. So you can definitely share access with it. It's definitely more of a brain. That's great. That's exactly spot on. I see that we've had Liv do it and Catherine and Itzel as well. would anybody like to add on to what a custom GPT is? Does it kind of, and you can say the difference between like a custom GPT and a standard GPT.
I mean, I think Terry said it right, but I think also just it has kind of the tone and voice that we need for client work uh for that client. Like if I create a custom GPT for a client, like I input all the stuff that they've written and background notes on what certain idiosyncrasies of what they do and things like that. So it's just hyper focused on that one client.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So between the two things that y'all said, you're talking about an additional brain. We're talking about what you're really talking about is it's really a configured brain, right? So let's talk about the two differences, like in using like like it doesn't matter if we're talking about AI, we could be talking about ChatGPT, we could be talking about Claude, Perplexity. It doesn't really matter the model or the platform that you're using. They all have the two primary modes in which you use them, right? You can use them in the standard way, in which you go to ChatGPT and you treat it like Google, right? You type in like, hey, what is this thing? Or help me create this thing. If we have a custom GPT or some type of customization in the model, that means we've given it some parameters and some configuration on how to think, right? So in this specific scenario, and I'm going to walk you through a couple of different examples of this live on this call, so you can actually see the difference in the outcomes that we get, right? So if I go to ChatGPT and I say, hey ChatGPT, I'm working on a fitness plan. Create a fitness plan for me. Create a fitness plan for me that's going to help me do X, Y, and Z over the next month. ChatGPT, not configured at all, is going to come up with a very generic fitness plan for me based on all of its knowledge, right? It's not configured specifically for me. It's not going to take anything in specifically to account. It's going to just go out to the world. It's going to go out to the internet and create a generalized fitness plan for me based on what it comes back with. Usually based on whatever is considered like the most popular or most recent result that it got, right? So it's important to know those two things. Now, if I have a customized GPT, that means we could use a really fancy word. We could say I've programmed it or I've configured it. Really, all it means is I've taught it how to think before it gives me a result. So a customized GPT would be something that I've built. Maybe I've created maybe I've created a GPT around Beachbody, right? And I've added a bunch of information and training behind Beachbody and the way that it considers basically fitness plans. That means when I go to that GPT and I say, hey, create a custom workout plan or fitness plan for me for the next 90 days, the next 30 days, it's going to lean purely around the Beachbody knowledge base that it has. And it's going to spit out specific information around as it relates to this. So how does this actually affect us a collaborative? How is this important for us, right? If I use ChatGPT generally without customizing it or without using any custom GPTs, and I say something like, build me a proposal for XYZ clients for XYZ reason. Build me a proposal for some charity work in Arizona. It's going to do that in a very generic way. It doesn't have any knowledge base in which it's pulling. Now it's going to create some general information for me, which is good, but it's not going to be customized. It's not going to be specific to the approach or thoughts from the collaborative communications team. On the other hand, if I build a custom GPT or multiple custom GPTs based on the collaborative approach, then the outputs that it's going to give me are specifically going to be aligned with that. Does that make sense? Is that clear to everybody? The kind of differences in the two? We're going to be talking about the power of this, and we're going to be leaning a lot into this on the call. And we're going to be, like I said, we're going to be talking about this in real time as well. So with that, let's go into, let me just show you a couple of just very quick examples on this. So I'm going to pop in here and I'm just going to share my desktop. And you'll see here that I actually have ChatGPT open up here twice. And the reason for this is I want to go back and forth and show you all the differences here on how we do this. Now, we are in my instance in ChatGPT. I was actually I tried to log into y'all's earlier. We had some issues. So I'm going to just use this on mine. But we're also uploading all this information, these examples in the collaborative GPT, so everybody will be able to see this as well. So let's say I come to ChatGPT and I work for collaborative communications and I want to create let's say I want to create a proposal. Actually, let's do this real. Let's do this hot. I know Catherine, you're working on a couple of proposals right now. I know Riley, I believe you're working on some stuff. I'd love to do this real time so we can make this really actionable and give you all some real time examples of how this could work. So I need a volunteer on either a proposal, an event, a project that somebody's working on today that we can actually go through real time so we can get real value out of this. So who is my volunteer to walk through this with?
I'll do it.
All right, I heard I'll do it. I did not see who that was though.
Anita.
Anita, great, Anita. All right, Anita, so come on board for us. Come on, can you come on camera for me so I can see you?
I can, yeah.
Okay, great. And walk us through. So give us a high level. What's up? So Anita, give us, again, I know that everybody on this call knows who you are, but let's pretend like they don't. So give us a quick idea of who you are, what your job is, and who you work for.
Okay. My name is Anita Tindawani. I'm on the events team, the events department. I'm an events associate, and I am currently working as a project lead on 2 different projects. One of them is in South Carolina. The other one is is going to be in Upper New York.
Okay, great. So that's very clear and that's great. And that's you, based on what you do, what you've told us so far, it is actually ideal for ChatGPT, especially when we actually configure it for you, right? So I'd love for you to give us an example of something you're working on right now. And we're going to do this real time. Again, none of this right now has been pre-programmed. We're doing this live as we go. Walk us through a project that you're working on right now that you'd like to get some support on.
Sure. So one of the projects, the one that's based in South Carolina that I'm working on, we have a lot of moving pieces with it at the moment. So we're working with different speakers that we're working to get workshops and breakout sessions structured for. And we are also working on design items. So for a lot of our events, we want to customize the experience aesthetically and swag related for all of our clients. So I'm currently working with the design team to kind of curate new brand refreshes for their t-shirts, their swag items that they want to offer attendees.
Awesome, great. So this is super helpful. And Anita, long-term, we're going to save you a ton of time based on what you're currently doing. Everything that you're telling us is going to be really, really helpful for this. So I'm just going to use this as a really quick example. So one of the things that you said there is like, hey, I work on the events team. Right now, we're trying to create some customized experiences and really customize it for each speaker and basically figure out swag and all the things, right? So what's, as it relates to this planning that you're doing, can you give me like in a sentence or two, what you're trying to achieve? It could be, hey, I need to create a customized, tote bags for my speakers. It could be, hey, I want to create an agenda for the program. Just give me a sentence or two, something you need to accomplish.
Yeah, I think the design piece is probably a little bit easier to just kind of use as an example. So we're trying to create a t-shirt that exemplifies kind of the vibe of conference. So it'll have like a lightning bolt because it's an electrifying experience. And the event name is Power Up. So we're kind of playing with words in that sense aesthetically as well.
Awesome. So we're just going to do this real time. Again, this isn't going to be perfect, but we're going to see how quickly we can get to like a better result by going through this real time, right? So I'm going to go to ChatGPT. Again, this is not programmed at all. This is not a custom GPT. This is me just using it in its native way. So I might come to it and I might say, hey, create today. All right, today you are working as what would we say this role is? Would you say like an event planner or would we say designer? Like what kind of role do we need to give this thing?
Yeah, event planner is good.
Event planner and say just like / designer?
Yeah.
And
Sure.
I need to design t-shirts, right? t-shirts. I'd like them have a lightning bolt, right?
Yeah.
And what else? What else did you give us? You said a couple other things there.
I guess some of the keywords that the client uses or that the organization we work with uses is like power up, electrifying, sparking new ideas, themes like that.
Power up, sparking new ideas, and etc. Give me some designs. Now, again, we're using ChatGPT on this. Normally, I would not suggest we use ChatGPT purely for design, but this is going to be more than enough to get our thoughts out there. So we're going to hit enter. We're going to let this thing go to work. Now, again, it's middle of the afternoon, so we'll see how quick we come back to. We're going to initially get some initial ideas from this thing, right? Like minimalist design, energetic, motivational, creative, playful. This is just ideas that it's spitting out for us right now, right? So it's basically brainstorming with itself, different things that we could do. We could say, hey, would you like mock-ups for files? Sure, mock it up. Mock a few designs for me, right? And it's going to spit out some designs for me, right? Now, again, we literally, that took, if I wasn't talking with y'all, if y'all had this at your fingertips, this whole thing would have taken like less than 2 minutes to do, right? And it's going to spit out some initial designs for me. Now, again, ChatGPT is not the tool we would say for design, but you're going to get some different examples from this. We'll see if these things render. It's the middle of the day, so it's going to take a little while. As we talk through this, right, remember that we did this at just a really, really high level, right? We literally just went to this thing natively and shot out some information, right? And let's see if it gives us this. Come on, GPT, you can do it. I have faith in you. You can do it. So we'll see what designs it comes back with. There we go. It's starting to print out for us. So looking through here, and as we wait for that to render, what do you think of these? I'm just going to ask you, Anita. What do we think of some of this messaging that it's giving us? Lightning bolts, sparking ideas, power up, electric minds, bright futures. Do we like the energetic, playful? Do we like creative? Do we think it should be edgy? Like, what are your thoughts so far? What are your thoughts so far on this design?
Yeah, I think there's space for it to be more customized specifically for what the client is looking for, but I think it's a good starting point for it.
Yeah, I agree. Like, this is very generic. This is a very starting point for us, right? And this is the native app. Like, this is literally the native way in which we did this, right? This again took us 2 minutes, right? How do we think? Again, this is our third or fourth training on GPT. How do we think? And this is, I'm gonna open it up to everybody on this call. How do we think we could have done this better just to start out?
Well, Elliot, I don't know if this is where you're heading, but maybe if there are some background documents with the client or other examples of things that we've previously created that could be used as either tone or background material to give some parameters to like the work that we do with them.
Yeah, that's great. Nicole, that's spot on, right? Any type of documentation that we can provide with it, and we're going to go through that, right? Yeah, Terry, perfect. If y'all have a previous program or if you have any designs that you've worked with in the past, that's great. We can actually upload that. We're going to go through that today. We can include color. We can talk a little bit more about who the client is. All of that's great. All of that's going to be great. Any other ideas for you guys? Any other ideas from the team on how we could have started in a more effective way? Yeah, location of text. That's great. Any other ideas for this?
Probably more about audience, like who are the people getting these t-shirts?
That's exactly right. Like, who's going to receive it, right? Like, if it's going to be if I'm, are we giving it to seniors or are we giving it to kids, right? Depending on who's going to wear it, it's going to depend a lot, right? The other thing that we haven't messed with at all, again, this is just the native app. We literally just went to ChatGPT and we typed all this in. We haven't put collaborative in this at all, right? We haven't asked it to consider our perspective and anything that we want to communicate to the client. There are two aspects of this that are very, very important, right? The number one important piece of this is what's going to appeal to the client, right? What's the messaging going to be for them? What's the design? all of that is super, super important. The other thing for the work that y'all do that's super important is what is the tone of voice from collaborative and what we want to share with the client, right? There's going to be things that are going to be buttoned up from y'all's side that you want to present the client instead of that's going to be a bit more nuanced than just kind of generalized information that we've punched in here, right? So an example of this, and this is how we got this again, 2 minutes is how we came for this. All I'm going to do is I'm going to grab our initial prompt here. I'm going to open up ChatGPT. I'm going to go over to to basically a couple of collaborative bots that we built. Now, these bots that I'm going to use today, I literally built these in 6 minutes or less, just by uploading some of your content, uploading your perspective. I just wanted to give you all a very quick example of what this is going to, of the difference here. So we have our CC services bot. Now, bot is not even configured to do this. But what this bot is configured is it's configured to know like the tone, voice, background of collaborative communications. So when I type this in and I hit submit and go, it's going to take into account everything that it knows about what usually goes on with collaborative and the tone of voice for collaborative. So theoretically, when it presents this, when it comes up with these initial ideas from us, it's going to be more in line with what collaborative would stand for, what collaborative would want. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? And so if I actually type in, give me some mock-ups, we'll see what it comes back with. And Terry, you actually, see, this is why we like Terry on this call, because we're actually now going to upload this document that you provided us as well. So we're going to see how powerful this is going to be. So we'll give it a second for this to upload. But again, is this clear? Is this very straightforward to everybody on the call and live, and how this could speed up your time? So we talked about this and I'm going to just pause this for a second while this uploads. So, and I'll give you all the example of what it comes back with in a second. So we've talked about how powerful this can be with design. And again, just going through this very quick example that Anita provided for us. Think of this now as it relates to your individualized job. Right? Think about like if we have custom GPTs based on what you do on a daily basis, how much quicker and more effective and efficient you could be, right? So that doesn't matter. So if you're an event planner, for instance, and you organize the same maybe 5 types of events every single time you organize an event, how much faster and effective will it be for you to create an event plan for the next event based on the 20 events that you've done in the past, right? If you're writing emails for a specific client or working on a proposal for a specific client, we have literally hundreds, if not thousands of emails that y'all have created in the past. How much more effective and efficient will you be in crafting copy for clients based on all the work that you've done in the past? And again, y'all saw me get through this example. It took me 2 minutes to get a design. This is all going to be stuff that's going to be customized for your individual experience. So let's get this up. I'll reshare my screen while this is up. All right, so this is so again, very minor difference, right? But this is what it came back with. Again, all we did was copy, paste in this prompt, and not only did it give us a design of an image, but it gave us that image with a person on there. This is purely based on what the bot thinks, who your target client normally is, and this is going to be something that they think they're going to want. This is purely because we configured this thing. Is this ringing true for y'all? Is this valuable? Is this coming across as valuable for y'all? Okay, great. So let's talk about how we actually do this, how we actually configure custom GPTs, because this is the lion's share of what we're going to spend today. And then beyond that, we're going to get into not only the customization, but then how we can have bots interplay with each other. So I've provided y'all a step-by-step workflow on how to actually build these things. Terry, I'll tell you this because you'll get this. We've actually done one better on this. I've actually created a bot to help y'all create custom GPTs for collaborative. What that means is I'm going to go through all this training. You're going to see like how to do this. You're going to be able to do it on your one-on-one on your own. But then within your own, within the MCM GPT, I'm going to publish it for you guys. And then anybody at any time can go create their own custom GPT just by interacting with the GPT that we created for you guys. So whenever we're customizing these GPTs, it's really a very standard process, right? And again, I'm going to pull it up natively so we can walk through it together. Basically, we log into the bot, we log into ChatGPT, we then start defining the roles, and then we walk through this thing step by step on how to customize it. We give it a name, we write a description. From y'all's perspective, that's going to be where between our description and our instructions, that's going to be what we tell the bot to do. Then we're going to tell it how we want it to interact with us. That's the conversation starters. Then beyond that, that's where the real magic happens. We're going to walk through how you upload files. That's what I believe Terry or Nicole brought up earlier, how we give it a brain, and that's what we want it to look at. And then there's additional, more detailed stuff that we're not going to talk about today, but I'm happy to go through in detail from here. So I've logged back into ChatGPT. All I do to create a custom GPT, there's two real ways to do it. The easiest way for me is to go through here and click on this diamond on the top right spot. Everybody's got access to the diamonds. I click on My GPTs. Now, if you're in your own UI, if you're in your personal one, or if you're in the work one, it's not going to matter. You should all have access to your GPTs. And you'll see here, like, because I've done a lot of bots, I've got a lot of my personal bots. That's what we're seeing here. When we say My GPTs, these are all things that I've created or my team has created. All I have to do here is at the top here, you'll see create a GPT. That's it. Just click on the button, click on the plus. That's all you got to do. Now the screen that you're seeing here is our configuration screen. This is how we're going to tell this thing how to think, how to talk, how to go. So over here, all I'm going to do, and instead of doing this, I'm going to talk y'all through this. And then as you're thinking about this, I want to do this live for someone. I'm going to give someone the opportunity that we're going to create a GPT, a custom GPT live for them. But I need a volunteer. So be thinking about that. If anybody wants to volunteer, if anybody wants to have a custom GPT built for them right now that will help them be effective, I'm going to need you to volunteer after I walk through this. So literally all we're going to do here is we're going to give this thing a name. We're going to describe what it does, right? So an example of this is I'm going to create the collaborative communications library bot. The description of this is you are going to be you're going to be my second brain for anything that I do for collaborative communications. Then I'm going to give it very detailed instructions. What you'll find out here is this is where all the quote unquote programming starts. And by programming, we just use native language. We just use the normal way that we talk to people to actually program this thing and tell it what we want it to do. We can copy and paste here, but this is where we're going to tell it what to do. We're then going to tell it how we want to engage with us. Then we're going to upload some files. Uploading files is where the magic happens, because that's where we're able to give it like the brain to specifically think. Right? Make sense to everybody? And then we're gonna go. That's literally gonna be it. So I want to do this with you guys for real time. So do I have a volunteer for somebody that needs that would like a custom GPT created for them?
I volunteer.
All right, you go ahead, Itzel. And then I want to play with another one after that.
All right,
Okay.
perfect. All right, who was that? Was it Itzel?
Yeah.
All right, and you're in Austin, so you're 2 for 2 from my perspective. All right.
Yeah.
So let's create a custom GPT for you. So Itzel, what's something we want to create a custom GPT around?
I would like to create a custom GPT to help me draft LinkedIn content for for a CEO for an executive director.
For an executive director. Okay, so when you say walk me through in practice what that means.
All right, so we are working with one of our clients is Every Hour Counts, and we do their comms, we do emails for them or LinkedIn content, but we know that voice and that tone, but we need to help the executive.
Hi, hello. I walk up and I just
You're gonna need to mute Nicole.
I got it.
Baby. Okay.
I got it.
There you go.
But it sounds like a cute baby or something, so that's great.
So I would like to create a ChatGPT to help me draft LinkedIn post from the voice of Jessica, the executive director of Every Hour Counts.
Okay, great. Perfect. This is a great one. We should be able to knock this out for sure. So we need to create, we want to do a custom GPT. And so so when we're thinking about this, right? So Excel, you could absolutely go to ChatGPT and type that in directly and say, hey, help me create a LinkedIn post for this CEO, right? You can absolutely do that. No problem in doing that. You would actually get an okay result from it. Why do you think we want to create a custom one for this?
I would probably get a better draft.
Yeah.
Because we can enter like information about what she likes or the information that we have on hand about what she wants to talk about.
That's exactly right. So we want to be able to do it because we can legitimately customize it even more in a faster way, like in a more efficient way. That's one of the things for real, for sure. What's another reason we might want to? And I'm going to open up to everybody.
Because you're gonna go back to it time and time again. Just gonna
There you go. Was that Melinda?
Yes. Hey, Elliot.
What's up, Melinda? So that's exactly right. So remember when we started this conversation, we're talking about this being your second brain. So when we're customizing a GPT, and one of the things I told y'all on your first training probably sounded like relatively confusing, but we want every time we do something to be the last time we're doing it for the first time. So as I'm creating and I'm crafting a custom GPT here, if I customize it the right way, I can use this as many times as I want in multiple situations, right? So when I think about this, I want to think about this in one of two ways, right? I want to think about, okay, what is going to make me be far more effective and efficient in the long term? Do I need to create a custom GPT that's going to help me drafting LinkedIn contents? Or do I want to create a custom GPT that's going to help me create content for this specific person? Right?
I think,
by the way, there's not a right or wrong answer. It's just in this scenario, which do we think is going to be more efficient and effective for us?
I think LinkedIn.
Great. Awesome. So with that in mind, let's craft a custom GPT to help us with LinkedIn. So this is going to be we're going to give it, so what's your last name, Gutierrez?
Wait a minute. I mean, don't you do other communications for Jess? So I wouldn't limit it to LinkedIn.
You're right. I mean, I was thinking I do Every Hour Counts comms, but I haven't done communications coming from Jess specifically. So let's just general comms.
General comms?
Yeah.
Either one is fine.
I would argue that what we need is like a general like project-based folder, and then Elliot's going to teach us in a minute how they talk to each other. So there'd be a project for Every Hour Counts, and then you could build a Jess one that talks to it.
And as always, Terry's that.
Yes. That's what I want. Yeah.
That is 100% right. And so the power of this, and that's exactly where we're going with this, right? So that's the reason I was saying like either one's good or bad, because the real power of this is not when we have like one GPT that we're working with, but when you have multiple that can actually talk to each other and interact.
Okay.
Right? And then we can do all kinds of crazy fun things. We're just trying to build to get there, right? So with that said, what would you prefer this to be?
It'll be the Every Hour Counts comms.
What's it called?
Every Hour Counts.
Okay. So I'm going to give you Itzel Gutierrez. We're going to just call it the IG. I need you to say the name one more time.
Every Hour Counts.
Okay, there it is. Thank you, Terry. Every hour counts. Every hour counts. We want to call it the messaging. Think we want to do primarily messaging?
Communications.
Bot. I think that's good, right?
Yeah.
And the description of this, again, this description is primarily for us. And we'll talk about publishing and all that later, but like this description is primarily for us, but we're just going to call it what it is, right? Like you are all right, sorry. This is a tool to help with all communications for this specific account, specific client. i.e. LinkedIn, press releases, etc. Is there anything more than that? Are we going to use it for more than that, or do we think this is a good place to start?
It's not really press releases, but
What?
emails,
Emails. Who are the emails to?
all of their network.
And etc. Okay, great. So now that we've kind of named this thing and we've given a description, now we got to give it instructions, right? This is where the rubber meets the road, and this is where we actually have to work on this a little bit. This is the place of all of this that takes like usually the most amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
This is also a place where we can usually upload information, right? So
Yeah.
normally this is going to be like a little tip for you. Whenever you're configuring custom GPTs, the way that I normally do it and the way I strongly urge you to do it is to when you get to the instructions part, you should go open like a Google Doc or a notepad or something and type up directions that way. You can even, and this is where it gets meta, use another GPT to craft the instructions for you for this GPT, right? That's the thing that we usually do. It usually goes much faster that way. I just want to make sure we understand how to do this first before we go into that, right? So let's just give it basic instructions, right? So it's we know it's going to craft emails and communications. So who is the client? Do we have any information? So perfect. So we've got every hour counts over here. This is the client, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so every hour clients, a national network of communications dedicated to expanding learning equity and making learning fun. So as we've talked so far, we haven't programmed this thing to think in a certain way yet, right? So right now it's still like looking at general information, right? So what we want to do here is we want to start preloading information about who the client is, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, and is it specifically every hour counts, or is it a specific person on their team?
So we are creating one for every hour counts right now, and then I want to create one for the executive director.
Okay, great. So we'll just stay on every hour accounts now. You can go do the executive director one later, and we'll go from there. So the easiest thing to do in these situations, my strong recommendation for you, if you're going from an account perspective, the easiest place to go grab tone of voice and information about the client is on their About Us page or the overview page. The other thing I'm going to do for you, and again, this is going to be part of the training and part of our engagement, is we've actually created a bot to go grab tone of voice for any client that you have. So don't worry long term. I just want you to know, like, this is an easy way to go grab this, right? So every hour counts as a network of organizations, blah, blah, blah. It tells us a little bit of information around this, right? It tells us a role, everything. This is an image, but we got great information on this, right? What I'm going to do in this scenario, again, we're doing this real time. We're going to do this fast.
Oh, it's an image. It's an image. I've tried to copy that text before. Yeah.
Right, you copy that text before. Okay, so we've got an image, right? So if I had more time, I would actually show you how to do this with an image, because you still can with an image. But instead of that, this is what we're going to do. We're going to open up another window. I'm going to literally go to ChatGPT. I've opened another GPT over here. And I'm going to say, hey, I have a client named Every Hour Counts. Here is the website. Come over here, copy, and I paste it. What can you tell me about its tone of voice, general info about the company, about the client, and etc.? I'm going to create a custom GPT around its tone of voice. Enter. ChatGPT is going to go do what it's going to do. It's going to go out to the world and say, hey, based on what you're telling me, I've already actually done this. I can do this analysis in real time. So it's telling me a little bit of information. Right? And so I've got general information about the client. So one thing I'm going to advise you to do here, again, we're going to copy and we're going to paste this into the GPT. But a little like tool that I would do here, I would say, hey, great. Craft me a quick email from this client to who's somebody that they might talk to, so
The After School Alliance.
to another group called After School Alliance
Mm-hmm.
about wait, give me, what would they be talking to them about?
The recently released Trump budget.
About a Trump budget. We'll just say that. We can't say recently released.
Or
It's okay. It doesn't
Okay.
matter. It generally doesn't matter.
okay,
All we're doing here, the reason we're typing this in is we're testing ChatGPT. We're not going to use this information for anything. We just want to make sure that based on what it told us up here, that then the email that's coming back actually sounds like it's going to come from that client, right? And again, we can test this, we can play with it, we can do all the things with it. We're just testing the sequence so far. Now, here's something that's interesting. We told it that this was our client. We told it that's who we are. This is the open instance, the clean instance. What did it find out? The executive director of Everyday Counts, of Every Hour Counts, right? It drafted an email based on the information that we provided it, and it went to the web to go find this information.
yeah.
Now, again, I can't tell you if this sounds like a client. I don't know the client. So you'd have to go through, you'd have to spot this and take a look yourself. And then better yet, if you have emails from the client, you can load it there. But if this sounds like the client, then we're like, great, you got it. So I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to grab this information about Every Hour Counts.
Mm-hmm.
Come over here. I'm going to go to my custom GPT over here. I'm literally going to grab that information. I'm going to say, I got to tell it again what to do. You are going to craft ongoing messaging from this client, from the client Every Hour Counts. I pulled information about, again, I misspelled it, doesn't matter, but it's tone of voice from another GPT, Here it is. Analyze and craft additional and be able to craft other messages. Paste it. That's it. That's literally all I had to do.
Mhm.
That's all the instructions I need to give this thing. Now, could I do a lot more with it? Absolutely. Could I make it more complicated? Absolutely. But that's all I literally did. Again, if you know how to do this, this would take about 2 minutes of time, 2 minutes of effort, right? And now I post that in. Now I'm going to keep going with this. Now I'm going to say, okay, I've given it the information. I've kind of given it the instructions in the background. Now I want to do conversation starters, right? So a conversation starter is, how do I want to interact with this thing, right? So it could be, so normally, so Itzel, what are ways in which we're going to use this custom GPT?
Email updates.
Okay, what else?
Drafting LinkedIn content.
There you go. You're doing a good job. You're not, it's not complicated than that, right? So LinkedIn, that's it. So what I'm going to say to it is, again, this is going to be the first thing that it asks me whenever I interact with this custom GPT. So what I'm thinking here is, what if we just say, what type of content would you like me to create? That's it. Now, if I want to get super fancy with it, I could actually give it like examples. I could actually break down and say LinkedIn content. I could say email content, email creation. All of these are just buttons in which I'm configuring this thing, right? We don't have to get that complicated with it, but just know that's something you can do. I just like keeping it very casual, very easily. What type of content would you like me to create? Because then we're going to tell it what to do when we work with it, right? Yeah. Now, if we had contents, we're kind of like last minute on this, so I don't expect that to be the case. If we had like contents, let's say we had a bunch of information about everyday counts. I could actually upload that creative when I upload the files and give it actually a brain. Another thing I can do we have this on the website, right? We're here on the website. If I wanted to, I could literally just copy all of this, dump it into a Word doc, and then upload it into my custom GPT,
Mm-hmm.
right? I can upload it up to like 20 or so files that way. The reason, and again, the longer y'all do this, the reason that's important is you have about an 8,000 character limit on instructions. I can do tens of thousands of characters if I upload the contents in the knowledge base, which we'll talk about, right? And that's it. Now I could also get fancy with this thing. If I want to give it an image, if I want to create a photo for it, I can do all of that. There's lots of like things that we can do on this that are not necessary, but just know like that are the basics of it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I just click create. Oh, it's stuck for a second. I actually told it to create an image for me, so it created an image for me.
Great.
So you got an image on this thing. That's actually very, very helpful when you create a bunch of GPTs. Like if you got like hundreds of GPTs that you use, having the little image on there is very helpful. But then you just click create. Now, if I come over here and click create, it's kind of the same thing. It just allows me to play with the GPT a little bit. But I'm just going to click create up here on the top right. I'm going to say who I want to have access to this thing. Then we're going to give it a second. Again, if this wasn't in the middle of the day, this usually goes a lot faster. What did we do here? We violated one of our terms and services. So I'm not sure what we did there. So I have to go back and look. But since I published this privately, I can actually go play with it. Don't worry about that. We can go deal with that in a second on any of the terms and services. So now I have a custom GPT, right? I have my IG every hour counts communications bot. When I create this, it's going to show up over here on the left side. And now I can come play with it. So I can say, hey, create an email about the Trump budget cuts that will go to all the partners of the client. Enter. What? Why did you do that? Let's try again. We didn't give it enough information. It's trying to. The reason it won't do that right now is it's trying to pull current content information, and we didn't upload it. Create an email about a new event from every hour counts that we will send to their clients. The event is in Missouri. It doesn't matter where it is. And we just want to notify. Make sure to use the tone of voice of the client. Here's the drafting. Right. So again, this is where this gets really powerful. This is where this gets really helpful. Again, we did that. We took more time than we normally would take to do that, but y'all can see how quickly this can actually go and how powerful this could be.
Mm-hmm.
Is this clear for everybody? Is this making sense? Is this ringing true? Great. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Now, Terry mentioned something, and Samantha actually asked a question here about like how this could be even more helpful. And we actually were talking about interacting with multiple GPTs at one time. So we talked about, so here's what we mean by that. This GPT that we literally just created is purely around only communications around every hour counts. That's this whole thing, right? We haven't layered on any additional information, any additional work, any additional data, any additional anything for this client, right? It's just, we just upload it and we've told it to do one thing. What if we could have other bots interact with this bot to do almost anything that we can think of, right? What if we needed, let's see what we have over here preloaded. Okay. What if we were thinking, hey, you know what? we know that this is a new client for us. And again, I'm just pulling this out of thin air. We know this is a new client for us. What if we, actually, let me actually ask you this, Excel. Excel, like, what do y'all currently do for this client? What services do you currently offer for them?
We draft their communications.
And what are there any other services that you think you could do for them?
Yes, for example, they want us to review a bunch of interviews at their recent conference to select specific clips to include in a recap video.
Great. So that's good information. And Excel, I'm going to teach, and we're going to show you how to do that super fast. Do you happen to have the transcripts of those? I don't need them right now, but long term, do you have the transcripts of those?
Long term, yes, not right now.
So I'm gonna help you do that in about 15 minutes. And you're gonna hit enter and you're not gonna have to touch it ever again. Right? But let's say we're thinking about this client. Let's say this is our library bot for this client. And let's say we wanted to figure out any additional services that we could offer this client. Well, it just so happens I very quickly built a collaborative communication services bot that it's uploaded all the services that we've offered for collaborative. Now I'm currently in this every hour counts communication bot. It looks like and whenever you interact with it, you're gonna get like, it's actually gonna shoot out information for you. So if I go away from it and come back to it, basically it resets, right? Yeah. So now I'm at the top of this thing, it's like it's a clean open browser. But let's say, you know what, this is a good client for us. I'd like us to think about what we're currently already doing for this client, but I'd also like us to think what other services collaborative could do for it. So while I'm in this spot, I'm going to say, I'm either going to click this plus button, or I'm going to say at, and it's going to take a second to catch up, and it takes a second to catch up for me. It's just because it's the middle of the day. I'm going to say at CC services bot. Based on what you know about this client, what additional services could we offer? Now, what's going on right now is this custom GPT that has the information about this client in general and knows a little bit about them is now interacting with another custom GPT that I created that's specifically around all of the services that you guys offer. Now, think about it this way. Think about this for any of your clients. Let's say for every single client, you've actually uploaded everything that you're currently doing for them from a services perspective. Now, let's say we have a services bot that we now layer onto it and we say, hey, wow, we're doing these things for it right now. Based on everything you know about us, what else could we be doing? And we're getting the bot to tell us this information. I'll do you one further, because we have two bots that are interacting right now. We're saying like, hey, we have the services bot that knows what we do. We have this client bot that knows a little bit about the clients. You know what? I bet if we talk to this client and we ask them about some of these additional services that we offer, you know, I bet we could get them to do some additional services for us. You know what? I don't really have time to draft an email right now. I wonder if there's a fast way for me to do it. Come here and I'm going to say, hey, I've got that digital doppelganger. I've got that Elliot bot over here. So I'm going to say, hey, at Elliot bot, using the information above.
Do you want to put in mine, Elliot?
Yes.
I don't know if yours is on this one. Oh, actually it is.
I see it.
Yours is here. At CC Terrybot, right?
Yeah.
Draft an email using TF voice that will offer these additional services to the client. Stack rank them based on what you know about the client and what we do best. Bonus points if you what's there? Bonus points if you pull some detail or personal info on the client. Enter. So now what's happening? Now this bot is pulling all the information about the clients. It's pulling all of our services that this bot knows about. Then in Terry's voice, because we programmed this to be in Terry's voice, it's now drafting an email to the client about what we should be doing for them that we're not currently doing for them. Again, this isn't perfect. We're doing it all real time.
You know what's super weird, Elliot, is what this should include as the very first thing is that we should be managing their events.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, we used to manage their events, and we don't anymore for reasons we don't need to get into right now. But it seems super strange that the bots wouldn't have figured that out.
Well, there's two reasons for that. Number one, this is programmed super, super fast, and this is programmed based on what Collaborative does and what's on the Collaborative website. It has no information about what you're currently or previously done for the client.
But Elliot, we do events every single day, so why wouldn't it notice that every our accounts does events and we do events and we should do events for them?
Honestly, purely is based on the customization. I remember I built this bot. Well, your bot's been there for a long time, but I built your services bot by literally copying and pasting like what's on your page. And we
Yeah.
That makes me concerned then that events
But-
are on our page.
So this
Oh,
has
yeah,
been
for
my,
sure.
this is what I've been saying for a very
Yeah,
long
so-
time, that if you look
okay.
at our website, you don't see that we do events.
Okay, so I'm giving you a specific answer on why this is. I agree, though, that yeah, then it needs the answer for us long term is the short answer is it's doing it because it's pulling the public information that we fed, right? Now, then for us internally, that should also say, oh crap, hey, we should highlight our events more, or we should reprogram, or we should be considering that as we're going after new contracts or as we're communicating to our clients. Right?
Ellie, I do have a question just
Yes.
about this. Events has its own page that is an L2.
Uh-huh.
Is that the problem? Do I need
No.
in like a redesign? Do we need to lift it up to an
No,
L1?
Okay, so
Okay.
I don't want us to get sucked into this just for the second.
Yeah, of
What we're
course,
talking
yeah.
about, again, we just went through this real time. Y'all, when we think about the time that we actually spent programming either one of those bots, calling the information or asking for the email, all in, we spent about 3 minutes doing that. Now long term and all the customized GPTs and everything that are built for y'all, we have to absolutely consider, and this is where Terry and I need to have conversations, Catherine and I need to have conversations, Chris and I need to have conversations. Long term, we need to be thinking about like how we're positioning ourselves, all the information that we need. The whole goal on this, and please don't get lost on this, is the power of being able to have these things speak to each other, right? And how we can actually be far more effective and efficient. Now, we do have to be careful. As we can see here clearly, we're not getting just all the results that we want out of this, right? We still have to like then look at it and see, okay, is what it's telling us, is it spitting out the right information for us? What type of feedback do we need to feedback the custom GPT so we're getting the results that we want? Because that is also very, very important with this. The goal here is just to make y'all far more efficient and effective. Does that make sense? Is that clear? So Terry, one of the things that you and I will do, and I know that we need to go through yours anyway, is we just need to go through and see how everything's been programmed, everything that's been uploaded on that.
So
I also think it's weird because my bot should have tons of stuff, creds I have on events too. So, I mean, I think your bigger point to this is right. And the second point is you can't trust it 100% yet.
100%. That was going to be like literally, if you look at my agenda and my notes over here, the last point I was going to say on this is the whole goal of this is to make y'all efficient and effective. That doesn't mean it removes your brain and your analysis from it. Right. So like as we're doing and the longer we do this, the longer that we're playing with these things together, the more effective and efficient it will be. But again, we still have to train it. It's still a brain, right? And a lot of this is like, again, the more we learn things, the more wrinkles we get in our brain. This is the same thing, right? We got to train these things so it gets additional information, more understanding of who we are and what we do. Okay. So with that said, this is what I would like to do. So we've been working through and adding different GPTs to y'all's system. We've also been pulling a lot of stuff that we pulled in Claude, which is another AI if you're not familiar with it, and putting them to pull and put into the collaborative communication system and all of your AI profiles. Our next step this next week, and this is one of the things you'll be seeing us reach out to you. Marissa from my team will be reaching out to you. Each department has 1, 2, or 3, each business unit, I believe is your language, has between 1 and 3 GPTs that have been built out to help you be more effective and efficient. So events has one, strategic planning has one. That when we layer in that plus all of the additional like email templates, press release templates, all these other things that we've layered on for y'all, our whole goal is for y'all to be able to play with them and see how effective and efficient they can be for you, right? And then there's other pieces for this where I'm not sure if she's still on this. Like Catherine, you built out, and we built out a proposal builder. So when we think about like how much faster and efficient we can be on proposals now, it's going to be crazy to see like how much more effective we can be. Okay, y'all. Well, I know we're at time. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to send out first off, we're going to send out the recording of this to everybody on the team, probably tomorrow morning. I'm also going to be sending out an assessment for you that spoiler alert, in that assessment, I'm going to flat out ask you, everybody on this team, what custom GPTs could we create to help you be far more effective and efficient? We will order the response of those. We're going to build them for you. We're going to order our response and who responds to those things the quickest and fastest for us, right? If you're a partner, we'll probably fast track yours too. But outside of that, we're going to literally flat out ask you, hey, what could make you far more effective and efficient? Hey, Elliot, it'd be great if I had a standard template in which I could reply to emails for my clients. Oh my gosh, it would be, hey, you know what would be great? If I had a way to take a look at my schedule and figure out how I'm spending all of my time. Hey, you know what would be great is if I could have a way to work on my communication with the team. Fill out the assessment, tell us how we can help you and be the most effective for you. And here's what I will promise. We're going to layer out at least 10 custom GPTs this week in order in which we get requests. You will get that assessment from us tonight. So keep that in mind. Please respond to it. Let us know how we can make you effective and efficient. Okay, y'all. Ping me with any more questions. Thank y'all for taking the time. I hope you got a lot out of this. As a reminder, go back and start playing with the custom GPTs. Also, as a reminder, you can do everything we did today, also using that search functionality that we talked about last time, right? So let's say you want to draft a press release and you have no idea how. There are lots of people that have drafted GPTs already that you can interact with your collaborative bot as well. So I'll let y'all play with that and figure that out on your own. There's lots of things you can do with that. With that said, thank you for your time. We'll be available and we will see y'all in the channel.
Thank you. See you soon.
Thank
Thank you.